Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Bakersfield West Rotary Stroop Family Foundation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, Kern High School District, and AC Electric Company, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Hey, can you hear the chants in the background? Math in the real world, math in the real world. We are back. We always want to know how we use math in the real world, and we're here today. Oh man, this is such a really, really cool place. We can see exactly where math's happening. Manuel Castro is with us today. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you being with us. Yeah. Tell us where we are and what we're going to see today.
Okay, we're at the training center for the Southwest Carpenters Apprenticeship Program.
Okay.
We have been around for over 30 years. Building the path to a successful career for the young men and women of this local area here in the Central Valley.
Right.
We are a branch of the Southwest Carpenters Union, the United Brotherhood of Carpenters.
Okay.
We have around 10,000 apprentices throughout the Southwest region of the United States.
Gotcha. So when a young person wants to be a carpenter, they come through you and you train them how to do that and how to do it correctly and safely, right?
Yes, we guide them on how to get sponsored through a contractor that's signatory with our union, with our syndicate.
Okay.
And after 3 months or so from working out in the field, learning the very basics in the field, getting their feet wet, they come to us and we start giving them their class sessions.
Okay, so there's some practical experience in the field, and then they're going to come do some classroom things and learn a little bit more of the technicalities, right?
Yes, this is a 4-year program. It's a college accredited program. Like in this area here, this local guys from Bakersfield area, they actually have to sign up with Bakersfield College or Kern College.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a 4-year program. So it takes a little while, right? But we want to make sure that they have the right knowledge when they go out there and start making things so the buildings stay up, right?
Yes, they come with us 1 week every 3 months.
Okay.
That's how they start achieving their level of apprenticeship. They start at first level, and every 3 months they come in, they get certifications, they get more knowledge, more classes. Once they go through our whole curriculum, every 6 months or so, they get an upgrade, and then they get a raise when they go.
So there's incentive. There's a little bit of financial incentive as well. So a carpenter...
You earn as you learn.
You earn as you learn. That's a good motto. I like that. So as if someone ends up being a carpenter, they've gone through a pretty extensive apprenticeship program. They have to be an apprentice first, right?
Yes, like in my case, I'm a product of the apprenticeship program.
Okay.
I was sitting down in a training center like this 33 years ago.
All right.
And I, of course, preach to all these young people, finish your apprenticeship program, make sure that you get your journeyman certificate. Mm-hmm. That's what makes you a true craftsman.
All right, good. And I like the fact that there's a plan. So I want to know, if I come in here and I want to be a carpenter, right? I want to be an apprentice in your program. What's one of the first things I got to learn? Because I need to know how to measure things, right?
Yes.
Show us a little bit about what we're going to see at the very, very beginning, because I know.
The first thing you need to learn is how to read a measuring tape.
How to read a measuring tape. Super important.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first day in our classroom, that's one of the main things that we teach the young guys and girls.
Okay.
It's tape measuring, reading exercises, making sure that when they go out to the contractors, that's the least we could do for our customers.
Right.
Send the guys out there
and
with the
a lot
knowledge.
of people will see all these lines on a tape measure between 0 and 1 inch, and all of these fractions are not there, right?
Yes.
Not on the tape measure. They have to know what they are and what they stand for. So how do you go about starting to teach that?
Well, first of all, is we explain to them that main thing is learn how to read 1 inch. There's 16 equal fractions in 1 inch.
Okay.
16 equal sections.
Equal little
the
pieces.
smallest unit of measure that we typically use is a 16th.
Right.
You know,
16th of an inch.
We don't necessarily get into like 30 seconds and 64ths,
Right.
because that's when you're building pianos.
That's
But
important.
for us, you know, we're building structures. Yes, we do cabinetry and all that. Then it might be specialty there, but for us, it's down to the 16th of an inch.
Right.
And explaining to them, you know, how to break down a 1 inch. That's the easiest way of teaching it. Once they master that 1 inch, now it's all going to be all typical. Okay, learning the 1 foot.
Right. Right.
Okay, how to write fractions. Also, you know, how to break down fractions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So your answer to that student that I had one time in math class that said, Mr. Hayner, I'm going to be a carpenter. I don't need math. Your answer would be, oh no, here we go.
No.
We need lots of math.
You need math from the moment you get out of your house.
There you go. That's right.
You will always need math, because it's a fundamental for building any type of structure.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. There is still math going on in the real world. Still, we want to learn a little bit more about what's going on here. Manuel, tell us a little bit about the first priority. We were talking a little earlier. First priority when students get here to learn about being a carpenter. Number one thing that you emphasize?
Safety.
Safety. Safety first. So show us some of the equipment that they get, that they're given to make sure that they're safe.
Well, you know, one of the fine examples, and we always call it our best friend, is our hard hat.
Okay.
So in cases like, you know, that's you know, usually a lot of companies will issue you an orange hard hat to identify you as a new apprentice.
Okay, so color makes a difference.
Color,
just so you know. Sure.
color, you know, different color in different hard hats will tell you what is the level of that apprentice, or is that person a safety person? Is he a safety coordinator? Then you have a specific color of hard hats.
Oh, okay.
In this area where we're now in the Central Valley, it gets really hot. So one of my apprentices likes to wear that for the sun, for his neck. Protect yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So safety number one. Gloves, they're a must. And almost in every job site nowadays, you have to have gloves on, safety glasses.
Right.
And of course, now if you're gonna be building up high, now then you have to wear a full body harness.
Right.
Which you probably see some of our apprentices actually make adjustments, and they put their full body harness, and they also put their bags, their tool bags in it.
Right. Right.
So that way they're only wearing one item. Nowadays we have full body harnesses that are made specially so that you can modify and put all your tool pouches in it.
Oh, right.
Instead of having two different items.
Yeah, that makes sense. Gotcha. So you only have one thing to put on, and everything's there. You certainly don't want to be going up and down the ladder, or up and down the lift, or up and down the elevator multiple times. You got to have all your stuff with you and be safe at the same time. And we noticed that all your students here working today all have their hard hats on, all have their safety glasses on, all have their gloves on. So it sounds like the teaching is definitely sinking in a little bit.
Yes, and actually that's one of the first topics. In the first class, we have to give them an OSHA 10 training, federal OSHA.
Right.
10 hours of OSHA. That's on the very first day of class.
Gotcha.
So that they know.
And OSHA is occupational safety
occupational safety.
And hazards or something like that?
I'm a little nervous right now. So
no, that's all right. It's a federal program
it's
talking
a federal
about safety,
program,
though,
yes.
right?
It's a safety program,
Right.
yes. And the minimum is 10 hours of training.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And you could go OSHA 30. In our case, OSHA 500, OSHA 510 if you're going to be an instructor.
Right.
We always preach on that. They learn about chemicals, how to protect themselves, how to read labels
Right.
on containers.
Oh, wow. So much to learn. So much to learn. And of course, there's other tools as well. Okay, maybe start from this end of the table. Tell us a little bit about the things that they're issued and the things that each student is using as they go through the program.
Okay. So one of the basics is this is orange fluorescent chalk.
Okay.
For snapping lines in the concrete or wall surfaces, identifying points. Like in this case, these guys are doing some layout with surveying instruments. And anytime you go out into a building, we have a layout crew.
Right.
The layout crew utilizes this a lot: string line, pulling lines, pulling elevations, or pulling straight lines. We have our program has finished carpentry also, so we have sanders, skill saws.
Right.
Never forget the good old hands-on.
That's right. Just in case the power goes out or whatever it is, got to be able to use that. Now you have two different sizes of levels here, right?
Yes, a 2-foot level, a 4-foot level. We also use 6-foot levels.
Okay.
And then, of course, now we use laser levels.
Oh, right, right. So technology certainly can help you quite a bit, but to learn the basics, they have to start somewhere. They have to start
Yes.
there, right? And have all those tools available at the same time, yeah.
Yes, and then we have, a framing square, which is what I learned when I started. I was usually, back then it was framing squares. Then they came up with a combination square. We call it a speed square. This was originally designed for cutting roofs, for roof cutting.
Okay.
Oh, it's a lot faster, and you can read all of your. If you know how to read degrees, once you learn how to read it, you can figure out your degrees, your compound cuts.
Right.
And this is a great tool. It comes in a larger size. Also, we call it the Bigfoot.
Okay.
It's a 12 by 12 speed square.
Oh, okay. Okay. A little
Yes.
bit bigger. And of course, you said this is your best friend, right?
Well, yes, this was my best friend for many, many years out in the field. It's my Construction Master Pro calculator. This specific one, we designed it with our logo.
All right. there you
Southwest
go.
Carpenters. And, we always tell the apprentices, you always need to have this because it's faster. You can double check yourself, make sure you don't make mistakes.
Right. Right. You certainly don't want a mistake after all that hard work.
It only takes you a few seconds. Double check yourself and make sure that you turn in quality products.
Yeah.
And of course, we have our architect scale. We also have engineer scales, and this is when you start learning civil work. Not on top of building structures, we also have to do the hardscape around the structures. And so we need to it's a combination of working with an architect when you're inside a building and working with engineers and civil engineers when you're outside.
Right.
So we need to learn how to do unit conversions.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's one thing that these guys also learn through the.
So much math. So many tools to use, so much math to do. We want to know a little bit more, of course, about how students get enrolled in this. So we'll talk about that next segment. Math is still happening at the Southwest Carpenters Training Fund. Emmanuel, we want to know a little bit more about, I know that someone's got a question out there. Who can be involved in this program? How do they get involved? What age ranges? Tell us anything you can a little bit about how a student gets started in a program that you run here.
Well, it doesn't matter, where you come from or where you are in life at this time. It could be a part of our program. At this point, yes, you need to be 18 years old.
Okay.
Okay. We do have programs already going in high schools, and some of the high schools in this area have bought into our program. It's Career Connections.
Oh, good.
Okay. It's a 4-year program during high school. It's taken out of our curriculum that we use with this gentleman, with these guys.
Right.
And we brought it in a compact version designed for the high schools, for the high school kids.
Right. Does it cost anything for a student to be part of your program?
No, it doesn't cost anything. Like I said before, you actually earn as you learn.
Right.
We have a great benefit program. We have a pension plan. Vacation, and always room for advancement.
Right.
So the way we always say it, it's pre-apprentice, apprentice, lead man, journeyman, foreman, superintendent, company owner.
Right.
We
Right.
want these guys to become bulletproof in the building trades, and we want to form professionals.
Right. And that can be really attractive to a young person if they don't quite know what they want to do, or they know for sure they really like working with their hands. They can jump right in this program, right? They can learn a bunch of things and they can get paid while they do it, right? It's
Yes.
a little bit different than other paths that they could take.
Yes, you earn as you learn. You come in, you get more knowledge. You go out, you go back to work. You actually every 6 months. If you have your work hours and you're going through your program accordingly to our standards, you get a raise every 6 months.
Right. Right.
As you
Wow.
go back to work.
Nice that the program is already lined up there. So boys, girls, anybody
Yes.
can do this, right? 18
Yes.
or older.
18 and over. If you're out of high school, 18 and over, and we have a boots program. It's designed for young ladies that would like to try and see and find out if this is something that they would like to try. We also have a Brothers Keepers program, especially down in like big cities like LA. That's designed for veterans.
Okay.
Yes, we help our veterans, and at this point we actually bring veterans in at at a higher level because of what they have served.
Right, gotcha. Okay, so we got to wind up with this one though. Personal question: how did you get started in something like this? What's your interest in this area?
What is my interest in this area is to make sure that experience is passed on to the next generations.
Right.
Make sure that we lead by example, and make sure that everyone needs to understand that when we retire, we're all going to retire being apprentices. You
Right.
never stop learning.
What a great philosophy to have for these young people that are learning too. You never stop learning, right? There's always another step to take. There's always more you can acquire.
Yes.
Man, we're still learning here too. I feel like I learned a ton today. We want to make sure that you know that we appreciate you. We have our famous do the math tile, and so I'm not quite sure how much tile work you do around here, but maybe you can add that to the program and
We'll find out. No
that's
more
right.
problems.
Display that somewhere proudly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time here. We learned a ton.